All right. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today, man? You already know how it go. It's your boy B back with another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys are watching this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about right now. I was live earlier and I actually did this video. Okay, I did this video. I talked on this video. I talked on what I'm about to discuss with you guys already. But the audio quality was crappy. It wasn't good at all. So what I decided to do was I decided to do it again, but this time we're gonna do it to where it has better quality. I was snapping. I'm gonna try to get through this video and do it as fluently as possible. Now, you guys know I've been phone flipping since 2014. If you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Jones, and I specialize in helping you make an extra income. The issue at hand came about from a mentor. Okay, I said a mentor, a mentee that I had a conversation with at our introductory talk, because you guys know that I am doing 1 month mentorship for $100 because I understand how hard it is to start out as a phone flipper. I am somebody that would rather you save money and then make money, and then I already know I'm gonna make money on the back end from your testimonial, from your results, from your receipts, and also, of course, once you see how impactful the mentorship is, you're gonna continue to be one. Okay, and you're gonna continue to grow with me, and that is how I have been working for the longest. Whether I was with my storefront, don't hit people upside the head with prices. My website, don't hit people upside with the prices. That's just not me. Now, my usual amount for the mentorship is $297. We brought it down to $100 until August 3rd. Make sure you guys go to hustlertaught.me.com. I'll show you guys right now. I'll remove myself and I'll show you guys exactly what to do and how to get to the website so you guys can actually take advantage of this. Hustlertaughtme.com. And it really is big that I show you guys this, because now that I'm seeing, which I've already been talking about, how there are a lot of people out here that are making it seem as if they are phone flippers and they've been doing this for a while and they're experts and they're giving you advice. That advice is not really what it should be. It's not really the honest truth, and I'm here to unpack a few things and give you guys the truth. So without further ado, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to YouTube, okay? And I believe today on the live, nobody could hear the video. They can only really hear me, and that was my fault, because I'm still learning how to do this whole streaming and recording thing. You know, my approach usually is to honestly just work.
With
And I to give you a backstory, I've been a store owner for a long time. I've been in the back of a store for a long time. I've been working my behind off flipping phones for a long time. And I don't have all the glitz and all the glamour that I would want, because, again, I put a lot of my money into my business, and content creating is something that I am trying to get into. But one thing I do not want to ever do is step on others to get to that point. But when I hear of people joining certain services and people not being happy and also questioning, hey, is this true? Is that true? Then I do want to react. And this is no harm to this young man. I don't think anything of this guy. I think he's you know, a stand-up gentleman from what I see. This is nothing personal, just business, and I just want to make this reaction clear. All right. Because it's nothing like that. Because I had somebody do this to me before, but the difference is that I did not spew a whole bunch of lies. And I'm not saying this person is spewing a whole bunch of lies, but it's very questionable. And it's things that I do not teach my people how to do, because I want people to actually be able to see the success that I've saw. And I know that you know, setting realistic expectations out the gate is very important for you guys, especially when you're spending your money. All right, without further ado, let's hop into this video. This is from a guy that I've seen start after me, actually, and he surpassed me, and now he's at a whole bunch of subscribers, a whole bunch of views, and I'm happy for him. It wasn't until, and I'm happy for all phone flippers out there. You know what I mean? We all have different methods, but I think phone flipping is so easy, it's uniform to a certain extent. We all do different things, yes, but certain things just aren't it. Okay. And you have people posting as phone flippers that work at stores, phone flippers that just working on PayPal credit, phone flippers that are not even flipping phones at all, phone flippers that you can tell haven't done this. And then you really have phone flippers that they get dirty, they get grimy. You know what I mean? They get their hands out there. I don't go in the streets and buy and flip phones because I have my stores that do it, and I also have people that do it. But trust and best believe, I've been out here grinding hard. Okay, I didn't get a fancy car from my job, my job's check. I didn't get a store from my job. I got that all from the muscle. I was told I wasn't going to be anything. I was told I wasn't going to grow. I was somebody that had to actually hustle for my stuff. So like it's like a hustler can see a hustler, and a hustler also compete BS. You know what I mean? BS. Okay, and we're gonna see what we can dissect from this and see what our takeaways are. And this is all just for educational purposes. This is definitely not hating. And I just don't do reactions because of that. I don't want to ever seem like I'm stepping on somebody. And hopefully, you know, we can all just learn from different tips and tricks that I would recommend other than what he's saying. Yeah.
I genuinely think that buying used phones on a platform like Facebook Marketplace and reselling those phones for a profit might just be the most realistic and easiest side hustle that pretty much anyone can do to make an extra $500 per week. You don't need to be a tech person. You really don't need that much money to get started. And if your goal is to make an extra $500 per week, once you got the hang of it, you're probably looking at like a few hours of work each week. So
to go back on this, from the rip, when I watch this video, I see a few things that I wouldn't do, or would never say. It's very important that you have tech knowledge. Okay, it's very important. Now, I'm not saying be a Geek Squad employee, or I'm not saying to make sure that you know every little detail about every little phone, right? You got GSM Arena. You got so many different ways to be able to figure out how to know what battery or know what screen. Like, I'm not talking about any of that. But what I am talking about is you do need to know your phone models. You do need to know that there's 128 gigabytes, there's 64 gigabytes, 256, 512, 1 terabyte. You have to know like the small, minute details. An iPhone is an iPhone, an Android is an Android, an Apple Watch is an Apple Watch, right? You have the Apple Watch Ultra, how many different series of the Apple Watch. Like, you have to know the bare minimum, right? So that nobody can pull your leg and get you. I don't agree with none of this. Okay, everything on this screen right now, I feel are complete lies. That's it. Small initial investment, less than $100. I've made videos saying that you can actually start flipping phones with less than $100. Actually, you can do it with zero. But for the tactic and the tricks that he's talking about, there's no way you're going to be able to make the money that he's saying without investing more than $100, right? And I want to allow phone flippers, because there actually are people out there trying to know that it takes more than $100 to flip phones. Okay, and it takes more than a week, more than a month. It takes about 6 months for you to be able to get comfortable with this so that you can actually see a good profit. The first 3 months you start, you may not see nothing. You might not see a really good profit, okay? It might be something where, you know what I mean, you're just barely making it as far as profit with phone flipping, and that's okay. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to try and normalize lies. And this is the first lie that I see. Well, the first 3 lies I see is that you don't need tech knowledge, because again, if I lie to you with these 3 bullet points, this is what happens. If I tell you don't need tech knowledge, if you're watching this video and you don't have tech knowledge and you don't want to learn, I'm selling you the dream that you can do it. If I tell you that you need no more than $100 and you only have $100 in your pocket, and my membership or whatever, not saying he's trying to sell anything, but my membership or whatever is, let's say $29.99, and you have less than $100, you're more likely to buy my membership, right? And then low time commitment. A lot of people don't want to put work into what they are acting as if they want to do, right? So if I was to tell you, hey, low time commitment, then it's more feasible for you to do it because you feel as though you don't actually need to try. So all of these things being said, it creates a facade, and it creates a dream scenario for people that are lazy to feel like they can actually achieve phone flipping, when that's not the case at all.
A few hours of work each week. So the way this side hustle works is very simple.
To give you a realistic expectation, because I don't want to disrespect this young gentleman, and everything he say, I say it's wrong and then not give a rebuttal. So what I want to do is I'll go back, because I feel like that's rude of me.
Okay? Works is,
so boom. With everything
once
you're
you got
saying, you do need tech knowledge, just the basics. Small initial investment. No, you need less than $300 to start flipping phones. I think, well, not say less than 300, because then you'll say under 100. I'll say you need anywhere from 200 to 300 to start flipping phones to make a good profit, okay? Low time commitment. No, it'll take about 14 hours a week when you first start, maybe 15. I would actually tell you to do a part-time job shift flipping phones, because the more you do it, the more you learn. So it is going to take a bit of time and you executing. It is, and that's fine if you're somebody that takes it serious.
The hang of it, you're probably looking.
But let me mention as well, a lot of these people, they want to teach you how to flip phones, but they don't want you to succeed, because the less you, and I'm not saying him, I'm talking about in general, the less you succeed, one, they can keep reaping the benefits, but also if you do not succeed, they can blame you. And I'm not talking about him, I'm just saying in general. And one thing about me, I love selling my Phone Flipping Academy. But one thing about my Phone Flipping Academy, you buy it, you actually get the option to talk to me after and talk about what new things are happening or what questions you have. I have a Discord where you can ask me questions and ask some of my members questions, and they'll be able to answer them. Okay, shout out to NG Nation, one of the top phone flippers in my Discord, and he's somebody that is a true hustler, a true grinder. And one thing I will say, he ain't doing nothing that this young gentleman is talking about. I've never seen a successful phone flipper doing what he's talking about currently.
Looking at like a few hours of work each week. So the way this side hustle works is very simple. Every single day, people are listing their used iPhones for sale on local platforms like Facebook Marketplace. If you can learn how to spot a good deal and you check Marketplace frequently enough that you're there when a good deal is posted, you can very consistently buy that phone and then list that phone on a platform like eBay, where phones do tend to sell for a premium because it.
All right, I want you to keep in mind, he said where phones tend to sell for a premium. eBay is never anywhere you as a phone flipper, especially a beginner, should be thinking about selling. Now, eBay is a place you want to sell your devices on if you are already making money on Facebook Marketplace and on OfferUp, and you're like, you know what, I want to, have another income stream. But I would start a storefront before I started eBay, to be honest. Now, and then that sounds ridiculous itself, because the storefront costs you money when, you know what I mean, eBay is free, right? But I'll tell you something that a storefront does do that eBay doesn't. It does get you charged rent, but you also get walk-in traffic. You also get the phones that people found on the ground. You get a whole bunch of different people to come in out of nowhere. You get connections. eBay, you get fees. Okay? eBay is one of the worst places to sell your phone. I'd rather sell my phone on Gazelle, sell my phone on platforms like that instead of selling them on eBay, because eBay is not going to generate you any money, any profit. I've seen a few comments below on some videos where people are actually saying like eBay takes too many fees and I'm not really seeing any profit, and that's the truth. But for somebody to try and lie and act as if, you know what I mean, eBay is a paradise for phone flippers, I don't think phone flippers are on eBay. I know wholesale buyers are. I've met wholesale buyers on them. I know store owners are. I know pawn shops are. But pawn shops don't usually sell to wholesale buyers because they don't even know anything about it. That's why if you are a phone flipper, you should be attacking wholesale buyers. Pawn shops. But anyway. Yes, I don't agree with this at all. I would say instead of putting that eBay thing there, he should have an OfferUp sign there. And as far as Facebook Marketplace is okay, But the thing about Facebook Marketplace is it has a lot of older individuals who are not that tech savvy. It takes more of an effort to get phones offer up. You can find somebody in a 5 mile radius that's ready to go, hot and ready. On Facebook, it's a lot of corporate. It's a lot of politics. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of churn. It's a lot of different aspects. And there's also a lot of phone flippers on Facebook, and they're on OfferUp as well. But there's a lot of free ads. There's way more free ads on Facebook Marketplace than there are OfferUp.
It is a global marketplace, and people are just willing to pay more for a phone if it's shipped directly to them.
And this is why you want to have a buyer's price list. This whole video, he hasn't talked about a price list at all, and that's what scares me about, even having people follow individuals that don't even know the main concepts of phone flipping. Like,
if you don't want to deal with the whole hassle of eBay, there's actually even wholesale buyers who will pretty much buy your stock instantly at prices that are still above what you can very consistently get them for on Facebook Marketplace. If you're one of those people that needs to see something to believe it and you need to see this side hustle in action, I do actually have a series on this channel where I show myself taking $100 and turning that $100 into $10,000 doing this exact side hustle. Took a little bit over a month. I documented the entire thing. Every single phone I purchased, there's screenshots for, and all of the sales were documented in that series. I do also have a community on School full of people who are posting their flips pretty much every single day. Don't worry, this video is not just going to be a big sales pitch for my School community. I am actually going to be showing you exactly how this side hustle works and how you can get started in this video. Well, you definitely can make a lot more than $500 a week, and there's a lot of people who are making a lot more than $500 profit per week doing this exact side hustle. The reason that I think $500 per week is super interesting.
Now, $500 a week is reasonable. That is something that you can make, but $500 is going to take you, more than 3 hours a week. It's going to take you more than $100. If everybody could start flipping phones with less than $100 and make $500, this industry would be so good. It would just be people making videos just like they make videos on eBay and Mercari and what's sold today and all of that. So no, it takes money to make money, especially in this game. The more money you have, the more leverage you have, and the more inventory you can buy. But no, you won't be able to start out making 500. I'd say you can, and he's talking profit. He's talking profit, and that's not true. What you could start out making, I say 300 profit is a really reasonable if you are actually following the right fundamentals and being, structured and disciplined enough.
Is because I think it's extremely attainable for pretty much anyone, and I really don't think it'll take that long for most people to get to $500 per week. On the low end, you could make like $80 profit per flip very consistently. So if you wanted to make $500 in a week, you'd probably be
$80 profit flipping is insane. Now, if you watch other phone flippers on YouTube, you'll hear a bunch of different profit margins. But when it comes to profit margin, me personally, I say $50. Now, at $80 is possible, but not $80 on average. That would mean he's talking you would usually make higher. Now, if you have an iPhone 13, prime example, right? We have an iPhone 13. Let's say that iPhone 13, what you all think it's going to cost us, right? Let's actually be realistic, and let's actually talk, and let's try to make some stuff make sense, okay? So if we had an iPhone 13, okay, or we can even start with iPhone 11, and we know iPhone 11s, they are usually $200 on any platform. You got people trying to sell them for $200, right? Not really $250, and if it is $250, it's an A grade unlock, right? But $200 is a good price for an iPhone 11. If I was to get an $80 profit, 200 minus $80, this would be my initial. This would be not even my initial offer, actually. This would be my ceiling price. I would be getting iPhone 11s for $120. You find me a consistent 4 people that would sell me an iPhone 11 for $120. Sometimes your profit margin, if it's that 200, I say I try to argue them down to 180, right? And I'll sit there and try to argue them down, and if I get them, I'll resell that iPhone 11 for 230, right? And if that's the case, the profit that I'm making off of that is a $50 profit margin. But I'm not making an $80 profit margin every phone, even now. Now with my store, I am, because when I have that store, I have more leverage and people respect my offers more than they would if I was on the street. And remember, everything I'm saying is in reference to if you are a brand new phone flipper and you're not starting with $80.
Be looking at like 6 flips a week.
6 flips a week is unrealistic if you're a real phone flipper and you're new. You're looking at 3 flips, maybe 2. Because you still have to have the verbiage. You still got to learn how to negotiate. And when you say flips, I'm thinking that they are sealed and delivered. I'm talking about flips that are actually working. Like you're actually doing the flips. You know what I mean? And it's successful. It's successful and it's done. But if you're not really doing those flips, you're not doing 6 flips a week. It's not going to happen.
For $500 in profit a week. You'll usually be able to make a lot more than that on each flip, especially once you've done this a bit and you actually know how to spot a good deal. The average flip in my community, I'd say, is probably over 120 USD or more.
And you notice all of his verbiage is probably, maybe, all of this other stuff, and that's where it bothers me. Because if the average is $120, if we use our iPhone 11, let's just say it's $250 now, right? That's the market value, $250. If I subtract that by $120, I'm at $130. That's $10 more than original for an iPhone 11. If we're talking about an iPhone 13, which is worth $350 market value, and I subtract that by $120, that's $230 I would be proposing to sell an iPhone 13 for. I'm going to buy an iPhone 13, and that is realistic if you argue them down, but not as a new phone flipper. And yes, I remember these prices because this is my life. Like, this is what I do. So for somebody to come and start talking about phone flipping, I love it. But I also can pick out when it's bull crap. You know what I mean? And that's sort of kind of really concerning. I'm not going to say sort of kind of, no, concerning.
With people regularly posting.
And this is where when I was live, I had a really big fit.
USD or more. With people.
And he tells me this is his community. And what I see is a issue. If you're a part of my community and you don't know regular product knowledge, I need to inform you. The problem I'm having is it says I got an iPhone I got a 13 126 gigabyte locked T-Mobile B plus for $200. I got a 14 126 gigabyte locked AT&T. If I go and I research what storage size is the iPhone 13. We have 128, 256, and 512. 126 is not it. That's not, don't come in at size, broski. And that concerns me. If that is the individuals that are in your community, we have to inform them and we have to teach them a bit more, because that is not true. Then I look and I see a whole bunch of different discrepancies. Brought the iPhone 15 for $400 and the 15 Pro Max for $530. Now, okay, if you say so, after everything and the eBay fees, I made $330 profit. Okay, if you brought an iPhone 15 and an iPhone 15 Pro Max and you made $330 profit, right? Let's divide that by 2. Just hypothetically, you make $165 each. Now, if you're telling me that you sold an iPhone 15 Pro, okay, so we're going to go to eBay. Okay, when we go to eBay, we're going to type in iPhone 15 Pro blue. Okay, when we type that in, we see some phones, right? And let me just make sure I'm accurate. Is it a 15? Yeah, it's a 15, 128. Yep. 549. I see 600, 624. So look at how there are like higher price. Like this guy is blowing my Discord up. look at how the prices are higher, right? There's a high prices. This is not where I would want to sell my phones. Not because it's unrealistic, not because it's not possible, but these phones are high priced because of the fees, because of how eBay's ecosystem is. But this individual is telling us that this is the method that they go, because it's all eBay. I have yet to really meet a phone flipper. I've worked with about this year. Me and my accountant and my team have already looked at this. I've worked with around almost 6K phone flippers in totality, and I've never heard of one phone flipper, whether they're new or seasoned, to be flipping on eBay and making a consistent amount of money anywhere like this. I've seen people sell 15s. I've seen people sell 15 Pro Maxes, and the prices are never like this. Now, let's just hypothetically say this person is doing this. Great, right? It's no shame in a game. But here's the thing, the eBay fees makes it unrealistic, and you gotta say that these are the prices you brought them for to make that profit, even though I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because if you got these phones for this low, an iPhone 15 for $400, $400. Hold on, God. $400 now. Not $400. Like certain things, it's like, all right, you capping, like you lying, bro. Like it's come on, broski. Come on, broski. It's Uncle B here. Come on, broski. You don't gotta lie to me. That's a lie, okay? It's not true. All right, guys. I don't believe these receipts right here at all.
Regular.
And they're all mixed together. Like three wins for today. Hold on, let's see. A grade iPhone 13 Pro picked up for a $350. A 13 Pro, not a 13, which is worth $350. A 13 Pro. Like you see, it's like they spicing it just a little bit. eBay seems to have finally removed holds for my payouts. Today marks the second week. Now, I'm not throwing no dirt on any of these people. This right here, an iPhone 11 64 gigabyte. This seems like a real receipt. $165. Yes. Like these are so mixed. It confuses me as a viewer. It makes me feel like you're selling a dream. You see what I'm saying? It makes me feel like we're selling a dream. Okay, this one may be right. 14 Pro Max mint condition brought for $750. 100% sounds legit. Selling for $1,050. iPhone 13 Pro Max broken back and front $250. 13 Pro Max broken front and back for $250. Everything else is mint. Everything else is mint. Everything else doesn't matter. What else can be mint but the front and the back? The battery? The battery's not mint. How do you know the battery's mint when you brought the phone and didn't open it? See? Oh my Jesus. I'm just trying because I want you guys to hear me through the mic. I don't want to yell. iPhone 13 Pro Max broken back and front $250. Everything else is mint. Selling for $200 on Facebook Marketplace. Yes, I can sell the iPhone 13 Pro Max with the aftermarket for $700. Front screen replacement is free because I have a buyback buyer for front screens. This is fake. So I have a buyback screen buyer as well at my stores. He comes every month and he buys the phones, takes them to China, and redoes the screens. But the front screen replacement wouldn't be free. I'm confused because they're not paying you the amount that it would be to fix the screen, because then they wouldn't make money. So that's not true. So it's like, I'm not sure. These may be real results, but he may not be vetting if they're true.
Really posting flips they got.
And then I didn't look at this one, but this one, like that first one gave me a headache live. So I didn't watch this second one. I didn't zoom in. But then lot sale 10 units, $923 profit, sold to direct buyer. Okay. Now you say direct buyer, you better chill out because I'm the king of direct buyers. I think I have the biggest direct buyer pool than anybody on YouTube. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I got it, we got the phone flipping buyers price list. 3K people buy that price list every single month. I have so many buyers, 25 in the country, 25 out of the country. We have 12 Pro Max brought for $450, sold for $550. Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is a lie. Okay, that's a lie. XR brought for $100, sold for $180. That's a lie. SS Max brought for $170, sold for $270. That's a lie. iPhone 13 brought for $350, sold for $420. That's a lie. 11 brought for $200, sold for $270. That may be true. iPhone 12 Pro Max brought for $350, sold for $480. Let's keep going. Because it don't make sense. Because you have a 12 Pro Max 350 sold for 480. Then you have a 13 Pro brought for 475, sold for 550. They're nowhere near the same,
that are quite a bit
same values. So this wouldn't make sense. But then you have a 13 Pro Max, which the key about buyers' prices is the Pro Max series and the Pro series. They're going to have some correlation in price. So see how they said 480 and then it says 680. So 480 for the 12 Pro Max price, and then it says 680 for the 13 Pro Max price. See, they probably were thinking, okay, I'm gonna just say it's 200 more. But see, here's the problem. A iPhone 12 Pro Max is nowhere near the same value. Nowhere near. It's about $350 less. The 12 Pro Max series is nowhere near the 13 Pro Max. So they both take SIM cards, and they are not nobody wants the 12 Pro Max. You go to Jamaica, you go to Trinidad, nobody wants. See, they'll take any phone, but nobody's going to pay that much for that type of phone. I will say that. You go to the Dominican Republic, they're not paying any of these prices. Okay. 13 Pro 400 sold for 550. That's scaring me. It's scaring me because it just seems like these are made up, but I could be wrong. 15 Pro LED damage brought for 400, sold for 590. Yeah, that's where it sort of kind of confuses me, guys, because it doesn't seem real. Okay, iPhone 13 Pro Max. Yeah, I don't believe this.
more than that. So more realistically, if you wanted to make $500 in a week, you'd probably be looking at like 3-ish flips in a week, because
so if you want to make $500 a week, you're looking at 3 flips. 500, divide that by 3. Okay, so he's saying you'll make $166 profit per phone. This is not true. If you are somebody trying to look into getting into phone flipping, you're not going to be making a profit of $160 per phone. You have phone flippers that are seasoned, that are on YouTube right now. You can look at their videos saying they're making $20 per phone. That's true. Sometimes you make 20, sometimes you make 30, sometimes you make 50, sometimes you make 60, and then you're happy as freak when you make 160, because it does happen, but these are infrequent deals. These are not true. This is not like the bare minimum or the average at all.
Realistically, if you're trying to just make $500 in a week, you probably wouldn't be going out of your way to buy those lower profit flips. You'd probably just wait till there was 2 or 3 higher profit flips posted on Facebook within a week. All right, so how do you actually get started and start making money flipping used iPhones? I'm gonna be breaking this down into a few steps that you could follow to flip pretty much any iPhone profitably. All right, so your first step before you could even start looking for phones, selling phones, any of that is,
bro, put me on, bro. Like, put me on your channel, bro. I help you out. I help you out. We can, like, you know what I mean? I share my tactics, you know what I mean? And maybe like the 3K that actually watched you to like pull up and you know what I mean, hear my spill and, you know, try both ways and we see which way, you know what I mean, works for
is you need to learn how to determine the value of a phone, because it's hard to know what
So this one psyched me the hell out, and I'm gonna try to chill out. Look at me. I'm gonna try to chill out. Okay, I'm gonna try to chill out, because what he about to say, I had a young man. This young man worked at the Amazon warehouse. This young man had a it wasn't with him, but he got a course. And he booked a call with me. I'm like, hey man, so you just started phone flipping. He's like, yeah. He's like, but I had brought a course before, but I ain't seen no results, and like I'm really trying because I put so much money into it. I'm like, well, when you got the course, why didn't you just hit the person up that you got the course from? Well, yeah, like I did, and they were saying to like do what he just is about to say, and I ended up paying too high for the phones. I ended up buying the phones from my guy because he became a mentee. We got close, and he spent money with me, and then I'm thinking to myself like, damn, I'm like, yo, all right, so how much you spend with Bull? And he like, yeah, I spent this amount. It wasn't him, but he like, I spent this amount, but I didn't make anything back. Like, and he ended up losing his Amazon job, and I think he lost it because he was stealing. And I remember because he was like, yeah, I can't pay for the mentorship no more. I'm like, I'll give you one more month free, bro, on me, bro. Like, because at the end of the day, we gotta hold you through. You see what I'm saying? So we talking, and then I end up buying the phones, and he making a little bit of money, but then he get a job, and he just like, all right, I'm good, I'm cool, I'm off this, because he was taught wrong. You know what I mean? And he thinks, oh, it's gonna take this long now, to build up, and it's just like you mess it up for everybody when you say what he's about to say. When you give false information, like this is like, you guys can see, like, y'all know when I'm trying to entertain, y'all know when I'm being real. Like, this bull crap.
Good deal is if you don't know what a phone typically sells for. The easiest way to do this is going to be by referencing eBay sold listings. The way
Don't do that. Don't ever base your price off of eBay listings. So if we have Kenneth over here, and Kenneth sold a phone, and it was an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and he sold it for $580. That could have been somebody that is so desperate to get a birthday present for Sally that they paid that. Or it could be somebody that does not know their product knowledge and just had an impulse buy. Why would you ever in your life depend on an eBay listing to know the market value for a phone? That doesn't mean that you're going to be able to sell it for that price. And that's what happened to the young gentleman I just told you the story about, is that he sat there and paid prices that were unrealistic. And this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. This part was so stupid. It was so ignorant. It was so unrealistic that don't ever do that.
The way you're going to do this for pretty much any device is very simple. You're just going to go to eBay, and you are going to search the model phone that you are potentially.
The theory he's talking, and this is what made me think, like, this person never phone flipped really, or they did phone flip a little bit, or they're a reseller in general, but they must have worked with the company, because the way that he's talking in the theory, in the process he's talking about, is the same process stores do. Stores do this. Retail stores do what he's saying, but not individuals that don't have that capital to start out with. See, retail stores do this because they have the capital to literally sit and wait and maybe lose a couple dollars, because obviously, I will say it, like, this guy looks like he had a good job. He got the surfboards, the skateboards. He got the Tesla. He got all of that. It looked like you actually were already set before starting the phone flip. And then you were like, well, let me actually try and teach people how to do this, because I did a few flips. But this is not the way to go if you're just starting, or if you're somebody that is trying to continue to grow.
Looking to buy. Then once you've made your search, you're just going to scroll down. You're going to filter based on sold listings. This is very important because you need to reference phones that have actually sold. List prices mean nothing. What matters is what they have actually sold for. And then once you have filtered based on sold listings, you want to find another phone similar to the one you're looking to buy that is as similar as possible to the one that you are looking to buy. You want to make sure it is the same model. You want to make sure it's the same condition. If it has a bad battery, make sure you price it against another one with a bad battery. Just make sure the one you're comparing is as similar as possible to the one you are looking to buy. There's a lot of phones being sold on eBay every single day. Trust me, it's not hard to find a similar listing. You can find one very similar that is sold very recently to what you're potentially looking to buy. So once you have your comparable listing, your next step is just gonna be to take the sale price from that listing. You're gonna wanna go ahead and put that number into an eBay fee calculator to calculate exactly how much money you're going to get.
These steps are the steps you take when you're listing and reselling in general. These have no correlation with flipping phones
After any eBay fees or anything, because this is what you're actually going to end up with after your sale. And then once you have that number, all you need to do is make sure the devices you are buying are below that price, because anything between those two numbers is going to be your profit. Another important thing a lot of people miss here is you're definitely going to want to sign up for a basic eBay store, because that basic store subscription is like $29 a month, and it brings down.
So on top of you being a starter, you're now paying for it,
down your fees from 14% all the way down to 9%. So if you're going to be doing this, it's going to save you a lot of money in eBay fees. All right, so moving on to step number 2. So once you understand market values, your next step is going to be actually being able to source phones for
reading the outline. But it's like, I ain't finna lie, like I don't have that fancy edits. I don't do that. You're right. I could, but I don't, because me personally, I don't get enough views to be getting no dang editor. I'm a businessman. I'm not an idiot. But 2, I speak from my heart. I speak from my heart. Every time I go on here, I speak with passion. I speak with care. I speak from my heart. I don't, and I'm not, it's nothing against him. I'm just saying in general. But like, when you have an outline, that's cool, but it also makes me a little upset as somebody that used to be trying to learn. I remember, like, when I used to try to learn Photoshop, prime example, or when I used to try to learn Final Cut, or, one of those softwares you look in YouTube and say, how do you do this? When they had a structure, but the structure missed out on a personal detail, right? Like, in this whole video, I never heard this guy talk about an IMEI checker. I've never heard this guy talk about how you meet, how do you negotiate. I've never heard the fundamentals, but you're making a guide on how to flip phones
below those values. I'm going to be mentioning Facebook a lot in this, but you can use whatever marketplace you have. You should use all of them. You could use Craigslist, OfferUp.
Then he said Craigslist, and that's what blew my mind too, is because when he said Craigslist, it then made me think to myself, oh yeah, I see Dunny Bun. This right here. I've never in my life bought a phone off of Craigslist. Never will I.
GG, whatever you have where people sell phones, you should use those in addition to Facebook. But for simplicity, I just say Facebook when I explain how to do this. So when you go on Facebook and you start looking at the prices for phones, the prices that you see are going to be high. That does not mean that your market is too high. That does not mean your market is bad. And that does not mean that phone flipping does not work where you're from. The way this works is the good deals are going to go fast. An average profit deal is usually going to get sold within like 3 hours of being posted. And the best deals are usually
like, where do you get this from? The average deal sold within 3 hours, great deals in 10 minutes on Facebook Marketplace. So, okay. So you mean to tell me, you said in the beginning that you get six deals at $170 something, right? So you mean to tell me you find a way? Here we go. I believe he said, and this is going to be rough, but I believe he said 165 per device is what he's usually getting profit margin. And he said that it takes 5 to 10 minutes to find a good deal. So if it takes, let's say, 10 minutes to find a deal, plus 30 minutes to meet with them, that's 40 minutes. So that's going to be 6 times 40, because you need 6 deals. So that's 240 minutes, right? So you're basically needing 6 hours out of the day to get the phones, And then how are you making time to actually pick them up? And then list them. And then still be looking for the great deals that might pass. So they would have to be listing great phones all day round, literally, on Facebook Marketplace in your area. That's wild. And
usually going to be sold within like 5 to 10 minutes. So just to be clear, that doesn't mean that you need to meet up with them within 5 to 10 minutes or meet up with them that quickly.
Yep.
All you need to do is send them a message and set up the meetup as soon as possible if you want to secure the best deals possible. So
and this made me think he's not a phone flipper either. He said you don't need to meet up with them, you just need to schedule a meetup. All right. All my phone flippers out there, the people, my hustlers. Let's forget all the phone flippers. I'm talking about my people. How do you feel about that? So do you mean to tell me that I don't need to meet with them right away if I'm trying to do his theory, get six deals in one day, every day? I don't need to meet with them. So I'm getting my prices off of eBay. So I'm going against wholesale buyers like me. I'm going to beat your price every mother free. He lucky I'm not in his area. What? My price versus your price, crazy. I steal them deals left and mother freaking right. So you mean to tell me you don't got to... If you're getting your prices off of eBay, you better meet with them diddly squiddly squat. You better go and hop up. You better be in your car. You better be in your Tesla, your Mercedes, your Maserati, your Toyota, whatever you got. You better be in that car making them offers and be ready to be on route, because when somebody like me scoop right under there... Oh, he said he'll pay you what? Yeah, all right. Yeah, if he say he gonna pay you $600 for an iPhone 11, I ain't beating that price.
Pretty much when you start searching for deals, you don't want to pay attention to the devices listed the very first time you start searching or trying to find good deals. The devices that are sitting on Marketplace that haven't been sold are usually overpriced devices, and they're sitting there for a reason. Phones aren't actually selling for that amount of money. If you want to be getting the best deals possible, you're going to want to be checking Marketplace as frequently as possible. Another major advantage you have as a reseller that you have to keep in mind that you should be leveraging is that you are not using this device personally. This is not your personal phone. You are able to buy pretty much any device in any condition with any functionality issues, as long as it makes you a profit. So you need to be leveraging this when you are searching for phones. Do not just search for perfect condition newer phones. You should be searching for every single model iPhone in pretty much every condition, because
this is not a phone flipper, period. I don't care what nobody says, guys. This right here is not a phone flipper. He's not a phone flipper. As a member of the phone flipping committee, I vote this cap. Should you be looking up every phone? If you're a beginning phone flipper, these are the models you should be working with for the most part, yes. Except for a 15 and a 14. They are no different profit margin wise than a 13, 12, 11 XR, 8 plus. Like, none of these phones, what he's trying to say, but he's saying it wrong, is none of these phones will give you a different profit margin. You know what I mean? You'll just be putting up more money. But he said you could start out with $100. So I'm curious if I was to ever meet this guy and say, hey, so I can get an iPhone 15 for $100. Can I get an iPhone 14 for $100? Like, it's a bit misleading.
It doesn't matter to you how the phone looks or anything like that. All that should matter to you to get good deals is that the price you're paying is less than what you know you could sell it for on a platform like eBay. Which means if you want to do this successfully, you're going to want to be checking Facebook Marketplace for every single model in any condition as frequently as possible and making an offer
Never
on
says
anything
anything
that you
about
could
IMEI
potentially make a profit on.
Never.
I want to make a note here that when you first get started, this process is going to be slow because you're new to this. You don't know what a good deal is. You don't have an eye for what a good deal is. And it's your first time doing it all. So it's going to take you longer to do this. It's not going to be as fluid as it is for someone who's been doing it for a while, but it does get easier. And once you've got the hang of it, you should be able to check Marketplace for deals within like 5 minutes. There is actually also software that does this completely automatically.
This scared me as well. First, you have phone flippers telling you, I keep forgetting. First, you have phone flippers that tell you to run Facebook ads so you don't have to check and do it yourself and buy phones yourself and go get leads yourself. Now you have phone flippers telling you just sit your ass back, don't even do anything, let an automated service.
Automatically in the background, it's constantly checking Facebook Marketplace. It'll send you good deals within the price ranges you set within as fast as a minute of them being posted on Facebook. It's very effective. It's really good to use. I have a link in the description to the company that I am personally partnered with. I am partnered with them, so that does obviously mean I earn income when you use them. So full disclosure there, but I do think they're very helpful for sourcing phones, and it is a good tool to use to make this process a lot easier.
You know how many companies hit me up saying, hey, say our product. Now, I'm not saying him, but I don't want none of your products. I don't want none of your automated. I don't want none of your Facebook ad bots. I don't want none of that. I teach my people how to get it from the muscle like I did, because when that software fails or that software goes down, or maybe I can't afford it 1 month, then what I'm going to do? Go back to the basics and struggle?
And save yourself a lot of time when searching Marketplace. That being said, if you've never done this before, I would prefer that you get started completely manually and you don't buy any software or anything like that, and you make some money flipping phones before you start investing in software or anything like that. So step 3.
Why would you want a software if you are proficient at it already? Why would I put that in someone else's hands? Now, I would put it in Facebook ads hands. I wouldn't put it in no software hands. Like me now, like I make money in my sleep. I make money when I go to the bathroom in the morning, when I brush my teeth, when I'm playing with my kids, when I'm watching TV, playing 2K, playing Warzone, recording a video. I make money, right? But still, I wouldn't put everything automated. Like some things, yeah, but like I just feel like when you know it's proficient, I'd rather have employees that do it rather than bots, because at least my employees have emotions to connect with people, and also they'll mess up, but I also can hold them accountable. And yeah, I like that better, but that's just my opinion.
He is going to be actually going ahead and picking up the phones that you have found on Facebook Marketplace. This part of the process is fairly straightforward. You just want to make sure that you're testing the device to make sure that everything works and you're buying what you expected to buy when you message the seller. I have a tutorial somewhere on this YouTube channel that'll show you exactly how to test a device. And there's also plenty of videos on YouTube that can show you what to test for a device before buying it to make sure you're not missing anything and you know exactly what you're buying. Obviously, you're meeting strangers in public. You want to be safe. Make sure you're meeting people in broad daylight, ideally in a public place or even a police station to be safe. And if you don't want to get scammed, just don't pay anyone until you've actually met up with them and seen the phone in person. Once you've actually bought the device, your final step is going to be actually reselling the phone for a profit. There's 2 options for this. You can either sell on eBay or you could sell to a wholesale buyer. eBay overall, in my experience, is going to give you the best price and the most profit, but it does take a little bit more effort and a bit.
eBay is going to get you the best price and the most profit. That is 100% not true all the time, but it could be true. But let's see what he says.
Bit more capital to actually hold inventory while you wait for stuff to sell. Selling on eBay is obviously pretty straightforward. You're just going to take some good pictures, write a good description, and just wait for your devices to sell. As far as wholesale buyers, those are another option that a lot of people like to use because they get their funds back instantly so they could buy more phones, and it is a way you could make some decent profit. You can definitely find some buyers with some pretty decent prices just by going to Google and searching direct iPhone buyer. Or I do also have a list of high paying buyers available in my community.
This guy is a liar. All right. So then what I did, right? I'm over it. So then what I did on a live is I went and I was like, yo, I saw this guy somewhere, right? And this is where I saw this guy at on this video right here. And I don't know what happened, but I think this is when because he started after me, and I remember seeing him not getting that many views. And all of a sudden, he just got a whole bunch of views and was the guy, right? He was just the new sensation. I'm like, that's what's up. Now, I'm always happy when I see somebody succeeding. I'm always happy seeing other phone flippers on here as well, because it gives me like a sense of, oh, we are community. But then like when I see stuff that doesn't add up, it bothers me. So then I see this guy who is a very smart guy, and I really like his videos. He does a lot of things in his video intentionally to, for some weird reason, in my opinion, make him seem really credible. And it makes me think like, did he pay you, or are y'all friends? Because then it makes no sense at the same time, because it's an interview style video, but he asks him questions that trip him up. And he also doesn't really say anything. Like, the first intro to this video is him in a Tesla. Everybody, like, not everybody, but a lot of people like Teslas, right? It makes you think, oh, he got money.
Christian runs an iPhone reselling business, and in 2 years, he's grown his business from $0 to about $1 million.
From $0 in 2 years to $1 million. I have not grown my phone flipping business to $1 million, and I've been doing this for more, right? But he could have different styles, different skills, right? And then they show a trunk full of old ass phones, right? That's what bothers me too. Let me tell you what some phone flippers do, not saying him, but I caught a phone flipper that was coming at my neck doing this. They have credit, whether it's PayPal credit, Apple credit, or they just take out loans, and that's how they start their phone flipping business. Nothing wrong with it. But don't try and act like you got all of this from the muscle, okay? Don't act like you got all of this from the muscle and make me feel like I can do it. Prime example, these are all iPhone 8s right here. Like in these boxes, like with the SKU, you can see iPhone 8s. And they're all the same price. Some of these are iPhone 8s. You could tell by the boxes they're really old. This could be an old photo, right? But then when I realized further in the video, all this guy is selling is old 11s and 8s, which is okay. This video is like a year old. But even a year ago, I was high on iPhone 11s, but not iPhone 8s. So are you buying blowout sales? Or are you like, what is going on here? Now, I can get iPhone 8s right now for $20 from my distributor, or $40, one of them. So is that what you did to try and make it seem like I don't know.
It all started from going on Facebook Marketplace and finding good deals on iPhones that he would later sell for a profit. By doing this, he was able to make $10,000 to $15,000 per month, and now he's at a point where he's selling on Best Buy and Amazon. So I'm meeting up with him to see a little bit of the behind the scenes.
Anybody can sell on Best Buy. All you got to do is apply. Just to let y'all know, you guys can sell on Best Buy as well if you didn't know.
And learn about what it takes to grow a business like this. All right, hello, Christian.
We're not doing it like that.
No, we're not. Can you tell me a little
So that's what made me think they're friends.
bit about when you first started selling phones and kind of like your journey in the past 2 years, what you've built it up to today?
Yeah, so it's definitely, what it is now is definitely very different than what it was when I started. But when I started, it was literally, I think it was like maybe a month or two before COVID I started. I was still working full time, and I sold a phone, like my personal phone, and the guy I sold it to, he was doing what I'm doing now essentially. He was buying it, it was a cracked back phone. I didn't understand why he wanted it. I think it was an iPhone X. And he was paying me a good amount for it. And he was telling me about how he was gonna fix it, how he has all the equipment to fix it, sell it for more. But it inspired me to go ahead, look at the market, see what iPhone X's went for, and see if I could actually do something with it. I'm pretty sure the first phone I did, I made like $80, so it wasn't like a crazy amount of money, but it was like
Key. He said 80 in the last video. Now he's saying 80. It all adds up. But $80, that's a great profit margin.
Like at that time, I was used to working full time, so that was a fairly substantial amount of money to just like what seemed like doing no work because you're just buying it, it's not listing it. It didn't take that much time, so it got me excited. And I realized then from there, I just kind of slowly scaled it up. I'd say within the first few weeks, I was already at a point where I was doing like between $1,000 to $3,000 a week just in buying, selling right back on Facebook. Like I'd literally be waking up at 8 a.m.
1 to 2,000 just into like, so he just scaled immediately. And this is what bothers me too, because it creates a feeling that, yeah, guys, you follow me, you can get the same result. And that's not true. You're not going to see that result within 6 months of starting phone flipping, to be honest, on a consistent basis.
Look for phones right away, all the way up until like 10 p.m. I was like always looking for phones. I was learning a lot because I was buying some phones I didn't make profit on.
How many phones do you think you're selling?
This caught this guy slipping. Watch this, because it has to make sense. Watch this.
A month right now.
Right now, I'd have to look into what our numbers are, but it's in the hundreds through everything.
And then it cuts. But listen to this. He said he makes close to $1 million. If you make $1 million, you're making around $83,000 a month. Okay, if you times that by 12, it's gonna be like 9 something, right? Cool. So 83,000. If we stay with that profit margin he talked about of like $60 or $80, if I buy, which is crazy, if I buy 900 phones in 1 month, which I guess he does. I don't see any staff in any of his videos. I don't hear him say he has a business that actually employs individuals, but that's 72. So even if it's in the hundreds, right, and that's the profit margin, you're still with that 72 not making $1 million. Okay, now let's say they were just trying to push it and kick it and, you know, make it sound good. 900 phones in 1 month as one entity, 225 phones a week. Break that down to 7 days, no breaks, 32 phones a day. Something does not sound right about that.
I will say it's like high 5 figures, if not 6 figures in a month we're seeing come through phones.
Okay, so when you
6 figures in a month flipping phones. Like certain things, it just doesn't sound right to me. I just never experienced making 6 figures phone flipping in 1 month. And this be my third year. 5 figures, yes. 6 figures, okay. Because we're talking profit, bro.
When you first started out, you were going on Facebook Marketplace.
Like, if I'm going to make $100,000 in a month, let's say I buy 900 phones, I need to make $111 per phone.
Other selling websites,
Yeah.
you were finding.
I know phone, but I know I'm positive, but I know people that do it and they have factories.
Phones that you could buy for cheaper, the good old buy low, sell high.
Essentially, that's all it was.
Yeah, and then now you're at a place where you're selling on Amazon, you sell on Best Buy. So like, how did you make that transition?
Around, I want to say like first year into it, I was selling on Facebook. I'd buy them, list, like make a nice ad, sell them on Facebook, and I was doing that consistently.
I make a nice ad. That's the last part.
Selling on Facebook, I'd buy them, list, like make a nice ad, sell them on Facebook, and I was doing that consistently. But I guess a supplier who was doing what I do now with
And then he guessed a supplier. Come on, watch
Amazon, they reached out and they wanted to buy, they saw I had 10 phones listed, they realized what I was doing, they wanted to buy all 10.
They wanted to buy all 10 of his phones he had listed for market price.
Up with them, sold them the phones. They'd buy for me at market price, so I'd still make a good.
They are a supplier, he said, right? Let me make sure. Suppliers don't buy for market value.
The phones, they'd buy from me at market price. So I'd still make a supplier who's doing what I do now with Amazon. They reached out and they wanted to buy.
He sells on Amazon just like him. A supplier hit him up and then wanted to meet him.
They saw I had 10 phones listed. They realized what I was doing. They wanted to buy all 10. I met up with them, sold them the phones. They'd buy from me at market price. So I'd still make I'd make like probably 80% of what I was before when I was selling them right on Facebook, but they'd buy from me in bulk. And then they'd do what I'm doing now, where they'd go and sell those on Amazon or Best Buy Marketplace. Then eventually those guys got to a place where they found, I guess, more legitimate suppliers, not someone on Facebook picking them up. And they told me about Amazon. They encouraged me to maybe sell the phones I was getting right on Amazon. Essentially,
he was already selling on Amazon, he said, and then that's how he met the guy. Look, and this is why it's the last part, because it starts to get like, I don't want to start getting too in depth.
Place. Then eventually those guys, I'd make like probably 80% of what I was before. That I guess a supplier who's doing what I do now with Amazon, they around, I want to say like first year into it, I was selling on Facebook. I'd buy them, list, like make a nice ad, sell them on Facebook, and I was doing that consistently. That I guess a supplier who's doing what I do now with Amazon, they reached out and they wanted to buy. They saw I had 10 phones listed. They realized what I was doing. They wanted to buy all 10. I met up with them, sold them the phones. They'd buy from me at market price. So I'd still make I'd make like probably 80% of what I was before when I was selling them right on Facebook, but they'd buy from me in bulk. And then they'd do what I'm doing now, where they'd go and sell those on Amazon or Best Buy Marketplace. Then eventually those guys got to a place where they found, I guess, more legitimate suppliers, not someone on Facebook picking them up.
Makes sense.
And they told me about Amazon. They encouraged me to maybe sell the phones I was getting right on Amazon. Essentially, the only reason I ever got to a place to be able to do Amazon or anything like that, I built enough cash flow that I could actually go ahead and buy wholesale phones and sell them on Amazon,
which makes sense now. Okay, so I was wrong, and I'm one person that will admit and hold myself accountable. Maybe he didn't say that. He said he's selling on Facebook. He's an Amazon guy. Just picked him out and said, I want to buy all 10 of your phones, which I do that. I hit people up and say, hey, you got multiple phones. I want to buy them all, right? But then after he does that, then he's saying that the person after then is like, oh, I got other suppliers now, whatever. But I think you should start selling on Amazon and Best Buy. And then he started getting wholesale. So he's teaching you guys how to flip phones in that video we just watched, but he buys them wholesale. Okay. That's my point. Again, nothing against this young man. I was asked to react to this video, and I did what I was asked because I don't want you guys to lose money. And, you know, we all, including me, I don't say things that will work for everybody. None of us do. And if we had the magic wand to make everybody make money like us, obviously we would do it. But I will say, I don't think that selling dreams or saying, hey, this is how you flip phones, when I'm not technically sourcing them the way you would as a beginner, I think that's disgenuine. I also think he has awesome points for somebody that is buying wholesale phones, somebody that is using a large sum of money to buy phones. I didn't have a large sum of money to start out. I started out with no money. Okay. My mother didn't let me have any money when I left her house. I started out with no money. Okay. And now I have a family of 5. And I from the phone flipping income just by itself would only be able to, especially with this economy, just make it with my family. And so they all live comfortable. You know what I mean? 70-inch TV and the kids' room and bunk beds and toys and dresses for my daughter, shoes for my daughter, shoes and sneakers for my sons, events, activity. Like, it all costs money, right? And it's like, I know how it feels to be somebody struggling. I know how it feels to be somebody that may have frustration with this income. And if you watch this video to this point, I really appreciate it. I wanted to hit this and say this and actually give you guys this reaction, because this may save somebody from having a lack of understanding and maybe clarify it. Maybe because he didn't think of this point of somebody that is actually out here starting from the beginning without a large cash flow, or without somebody having the assets that he may have had. I didn't have no assets. So just giving you guys a different point of view. Is no disrespect to this young man. I wish him a lot of success. I just really wanted to just bring this, and hopefully this saves somebody from the frustration of quitting. If you're phone flipping and you need assistance, definitely join the Discord. He got me thinking about doing the school community at this point. You know what I mean? But y'all got to make sure y'all know that it's a 128 and not a 126. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be saying, hey, I got the iPhone 13, 26 gigabyte. Like, it makes me feel like I'm not teaching you the right thing, you know? But then again, we can't inform everybody when they come into our community what it is. But, you know, at least talk about IMEIs and talk about things that actually a newer individual would have to experience, unless you're only catering to people like myself that are maybe looking into going into wholesale. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion on that video. And again, just watch out what you watch and what you actually entertain and what you absorb as a potential phone flipper. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. You know I love you guys like a fat kid love cake. And I'll see you guys at the top because it's too crowded at the bottom. I'm just going to upload this. I ain't finna edit much. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys at the top because it's too crowded at the bottom.